good evening, or perhaps I should say good midnight. Imagine stepping into a library after hours. The lights are dimmed, the air smells of old paper and dust, and every footstep echoes like it's not quite alone. Libraries are supposed to be sanctuaries of quiet knowledge, but some hold secrets that refuse to stay silent. Tonight, we're exploring the world's most haunted libraries, where the dead still turn pages, search for lost letters, and linger among the shelves. These aren't just urban legends. They're stories backed by eyewitness accounts from librarians, custodians, and visitors, stories that have persisted for decades, even centuries. Let's begin across the Atlantic, in one of the oldest public libraries still standing. Marsh's Library, Dublin, Ireland. Built in 1707, Marsh's Library is Ireland's oldest free public library, tucked behind St. Patrick's Cathedral. Its founder, Archbishop Narcissus Marsh, created it as a gift to the public, but his ghost seems to think he still has unfinished business. The story goes that his beloved niece, with whom he was very close, fell in love with a young man the Archbishop disapproved of. She ran away, leaving a hidden letter for her uncle, explaining her reasons, begging forgiveness. The Archbishop searched for it desperately until his death in 1713, but never found it. To this day, staff and late-night visitors report seeing a tall, stooped figure in old clerical robes moving silently through the caged stacks, the famous wire cages that protect the rare books. He pulls volumes down, flips pages with translucent fingers, then replaces them with a sigh. Some say if you listen closely after closing, you can hear the rustle of paper and a low, frustrated murmur. One librarian claimed to have watched him for nearly a minute before he faded into the gloom. Marsh's isn't alone in its hauntings. Some visitors have glimpsed the shade of Jonathan Swift, author of Gulliver's Travels, who frequented the place. But it's the Archbishop who keeps coming back, forever hunting for that one lost letter. Now let's cross to a very different kind of haunting, one born of tragedy and a supposed curse. Peoria Public Library, Peoria, Illinois, USA. In 1847, a woman named Mary Stevenson Gray owned the land where the library would later be built. When the city took the property, she was furious. According to legend, she placed a curse on anyone who would direct a library on that spot. Untimely and violent deaths. The curse seemed to strike quickly. The first director died in a horrific streetcar accident in 1915. The second suffered a fatal heart attack right after a heated library board meeting in 1921. The third took his own life in 1924 by swallowing arsenic. Since then, staff have reported cold spots in the stacks, books falling from shelves with no one nearby, and shadowy figures watching from the upper floors. One former director described hearing heavy footsteps pacing the administrative offices at night, footsteps that stopped whenever someone called out. The curse may have lifted decades ago, but the echoes remain. Peoria's librarians joke that the ghosts are just former directors making sure the budget meetings still run on time. But if you want the most famous library ghost in America, one so well documented the library embraces it, head to Indiana. Willard Library, Evansville, Indiana, USA. Since 1937, this Victorian Gothic building has been home to the Gray Lady. It began when a night custodian arrived at 3 a.m. to stoke the coal furnace. In the beam of his flashlight, he saw a woman in a long gray dress, her face veiled in gauzy material, standing by the boiler. The light passed straight through her. He quit on the spot. Over the decades, dozens of credible witnesses, librarians, patrons, even a local weathercaster, have seen her. She appears most often in the basement, children's department, or near the water fountain, sometimes peering into the water as if searching for something. Books move on their own. Lights flicker. The elevator arrives empty even when no one called it. The library now has ghost cameras streaming 24/7. Yes, you can watch for her online right now. They've turned the haunting into an annual Gray Lady ghost tour. Staff say she's gentle, almost sad. Some believe she's Louise Carpenter, a woman involved in a bitter 19th century custody battle over the library founder's estate. Others think she's simply a spirit who loves books too much to leave. Whatever her origin, the Gray Lady is perhaps the world's most beloved library ghost, proof that even the paranormal can find a home among the shelves. Across the ocean again, to a place where occult books seem to attract their own energy. Senate House Library, University of London, England. This mid-20th century tower holds the Harry Price collection of magical literature. Thousands of books on witchcraft, spiritualism, and the occult, amassed by the famous paranormal investigator Harry Price. Since the collection arrived, strange things have happened. Books float off shelves. A glowing female figure has been seen drifting between the stacks. Cold spots appear around the most cursed volumes. One researcher claimed an invisible hand turned the pages of a grimoire while he read. Is it the energy of the books themselves? Or something Harry Price left behind? The library doesn't advertise it, but staff whisper about it after hours. And there are dozens more. The violin-playing ghost and his dog at Houston's Julia Eidson building. The spectral nun in some Midwestern college libraries. Even whispers at the New York Public Library's original Astor branch. What draws spirits to libraries? Perhaps it's the weight of all those stories, millions of lives, emotions, and tragedies pressed between covers. Or maybe the quiet. In a world full of noise, a library after dark is one of the few places left where the dead can finally be heard. So next time you're in a library late, browsing the stacks, pay attention. Listen for the soft turn of a page when no one's there. Feel the sudden chill on the back of your neck. Because knowledge isn't the only thing that lingers in these places. Some stories refuse to stay on the page. Thank you for joining me in the shadows tonight. Sleep well, and maybe leave a light on when you visit your local library.